Good evening. This is Steve, KK4RVR. No camera work. This is all desktop recording this time around. Just wanted to give a quick demonstration on the CHIRP Live CD. I've seen videos on how to use CHIRP, but I haven't seen any around for using the Live CD. For this, I'm not going to go through how to do it, or how to make a live CD or a bootable flash drive. I will say that for first off, you should go to the CHIRP website, and the live CD, you'll see CHIRP Linux-based live CD. And when you click on that, you will come up to the CHIRP Live CD page. And right here, you click on download, and you get the image file, 704.5 megabytes. So for burning, you can burn this to a CD or DVD, and for that, just use your burning software if you have any. You can use a zip drive, or not a zip drive, but a flash drive. And for that, I would suggest using Unetbootin. Very simple. You can use it for Windows, Linux, even Mac. Just by looking at this image here, I can tell you real quick, you would just go down to Disk Image, make sure ISO is selected, and browse to your ISO file. Type USB drive, pick your drive, hit OK, it does its thing. It'll tell you when it's done. And then you just reboot your computer and have your system set to boot from a flash drive, and everything should load up and work as it should. Now for this, I'm going to be loading this from a VirtualBox, or a virtual machine, so I will go ahead and load it up. And you get the CHIRP Live CD screen. You just hit enter for live. And yes, I have actually booted this from a flash drive, and you get a different log or a loading screen than the Ubuntu 12.04. This is primarily due to being in a virtual machine. And once it loads up, you'll have some pop-ups. There's a few scripts that auto-run, which can be pretty handy. It'll automatically check to see if your programming cable is connected. And it should be doing this here shortly. Yep, programming cable was not detected. Please ensure that it is plugged in. Press OK. And it'll say guessing port is the USB, which in most cases it should be. And another pop-up should come here in just a second. Cable appears to be using, okay, that's just a standard. And when you press X on this, CHIRP will automatically load. Now the good thing with this is, slide this over a little bit, there is a link here for CHIRP Update. It will actually update the version of CHIRP for you. And for this, just for an example, load up the leaf pad here. About just for example's sake, there's the CHIRP daily version. And now I'm going to close it, move this over, run the CHIRP Updater, and it says checking for internet connection, please stand by. And you'll give this a couple seconds, updating, checking for updates. And depending on your internet connection, it may take a second or two, but for the most part, it's pretty quick. It's installing latest version. CHIRP is now updated. To start, double-click the CHIRP icon on the desktop. Okay, so I'll do that. And now, about, and there are your different versions. This is actually an updated version. Now, you do not have to do this, but if there's features in the newer versions that you need, then you can run this. And there is a way when running it from a flash drive, you can have it have the upgrade stick between boots. That can be done with the Unetbootin. No, I don't want to save changes. Close. Now I'm going to simulate, I guess, plugging in my programming cable. And for this, for the first one, I have two of them I will do. The first one, it shows Prolific Technology USB serial controller. And this specific one is the one for my Baofeng UV5R, and it is the cloned plug-in, or the cloned model. If you're familiar with this, the radio, and have had issues getting a programming cable for this radio to work within like Windows 7 and Windows 8, and you have the driver issues, this is why I use Chirp in Linux. You do not have this problem at all. So I'll just connect it to the virtual machine and see what I get. Download from radio, Baofeng UV5R, and just hit yes. Oh, it does help if I turn my radio on. Alright, radio did not respond. Makes sense, I didn't have it on. Let's try it again. There we go. And let's see, 0 to 127. And scroll wheel doesn't work in a virtual machine, but there you go. All of my memories from the Baofeng are showing up here now. And so I will close this one. And you can make your changes and re-upload to the radio and all of that, just like you would with Chirp any other time. And now I will disconnect it. And I'm actually physically disconnecting it from my computer. Next one, plug in my cable here for my Anytone 5888 UV. And let's see Prolific Technology. Okay, it shows up the same thing, but I've connected it. It's got the check mark, shows that it's connected. Now radio, download, select Anytone, and 58, yes, and it is now running there. And as I said, I'm running this in a virtual machine, but I ran the exact same test when I had the CHIRP Live CD running natively by itself from a flash drive on this computer, and everything worked just as it's working now. It's real simple, and I'm sorry it takes the Anytone a bit longer. Oh, there we go. And I can never remember how many channels or how many memories this thing has, so I'll just put like 9,000, but it'll 758, and then scroll on down, and I have a lot of empty space compared to the Baofeng, which is almost full. I have the exact same programming on both radios, even down to the memory channel or the memory numbers. So they're both identical. Easier to match things up if I'm having to use them side by side. And go ahead and close this. And this does come with a few neat utilities with it, if you so choose to use them. Comes with FL Digi if you want to do digital modes. Comes with some help stuff. Pretty much all this is Xubuntu version 12.04. that has been repackaged with the Chirp software and the custom scripts that run at startup. And it has, it's typical stuff. But for the most part, I mean, it's real simple to use. And you can, as I said, you can do your update for the Chirp Updater. And it does have a web browser, so if you're booting from this and something comes up and you have internet access, of course you can jump right into an internet browser. It's everything's functioning. And real simply, whenever you're done doing whatever you need to do, you can either click on the Chirp here in the corner and click shut down, or log out, same thing, and hit shut down. And once you shut down, it'll pop up, please remove installation media, close the tray if any, press enter. When you press enter, system will shut down. And like I said, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you already know how to use Chirp, there's nothing new or different with it. This does come in handy if you have problems with getting your software or your programming cable to work within Windows. If you do not have a dual boot setup, for example, like I do, I have Windows 8.1 Professional. I haven't been using that much here lately, and I'm currently using Linux Mint 17 for my primary operating system as of late, and that's what this is being recorded in. But if you don't have a Linux dual boot and you don't want to go through all of that trouble, go ahead and make a CD or a DVD, and whenever you want to use Chirp or whatever, and to save you some issues, just pop it in and boot off of that. But for this, the address, in case you don't know where it is, chirp.danplanet.com. And from here you can download the Windows version, Windows Standalone, Mac OS X, even Linux Source for different versions, Fedora, Ubuntu. Gives you the way of doing the main version, or the primary release, or like I do, the daily. I always run daily, just in case. Then you can download the live CD. They have test reports, developments, and install notes. Explains how to take care of this. And as it says here, I'll just read right off the website. A Linux-based live CD is available with Chirp pre-installed. This will boot on almost any system and provide a highly compatible Chirp environment without the need for fussing with a driver. It will not modify your system in any way. And that's pretty much the point of it. So you do not have to worry about messing with the driver, especially in Windows. Because I always have problems, especially with my Baofeng cable in Windows. I haven't had any with my Anytone yet, but that one's not a cloned, it's an actual legitimate prolific chip in that cable. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please post them under the video here. Like, subscribe, share, and I will wish you 7-3, and I will be signing off the video. KK4RVR, Steve. Have a good night.